Hello, my sweet and precious students. I hope you guys are doing well. I just realized it's a little dark in here. I gotta brighten things up. My dogs are trying to play. They wait till I start recording, then they try to play. If you're following along at home, Algebra 1/2, 3rd edition. It is pre-algebra. We are on lesson 39. I will pause it when my dogs get out of control, because that's about to happen. But today we're going to be talking about solving equations. Solving equations. Guys, with equations, we are allowed to do something to one side of the equation as long as we do it on both sides. So, example number 1, guys, if you are in my class, you need to be writing this down in your notes. Example number 1 says, solve x minus 3 equals 7. So guys, the idea in equations is to get the variable, and the variable meaning the letter, all by itself. In order for us to do that, we need to move this 3 over. So right now we're subtracting 3. The opposite or the inverse of subtracting 3 is adding 3. And if we do that, these guys cancel out and we get that x all by itself. But guys, they're like a scale. You got to balance it. If you do something on one side, you got to do it to the other. So by adding 3 here, I also have to add 3 here. X equals, he's acting like he's chasing his tail. I ain't even lying right now. What is wrong with my dog? He caught it. He doesn't know what to do. He caught it. Oh my God. Anyway, all right, so x equals 10. Guys, here's the deal. With equations, you can, all right, here we go. That's upside down. This is my dog. Now he stops acting. Really? Now he stops. There we go. That's what he's doing. All right. Okay, so enjoy. Okay, so guys, the deal with equations though is you can always double check your work. So look at our original equation was x minus 3 equals 7. But hey, you guys told me, hey, 10 is x, right? So in order for us to double check this, what we're going to do is we're going to plug that 10 in. Actually, let me push that back a little bit. We're going to plug that 10 in for x here. 10 minus 3 equals 7. 10 minus 3 is 7. Does 7 equal 7? And when you're doing this, when you're checking, you put a little question mark. Hey, I'm just checking this. Does 7 equal 7? Check mark. It sure does. 10 is your solution, so you have done that correctly. So there's no excuses. You can double check all of your equations. All right, guys. The number 2, example number 2. N plus 3 equals 7. So guys, we always do the inverse, right? The inverse operation of addition is subtraction. The inverse operation of subtraction is addition. The inverse operation of multiplication is division, and the inverse operation of division is multiplication. So the inverse operation of this addition here is minus 3 minus 3. Cancel these guys out, because what we do to one side, we have to do on the other side of the equal sign, okay? N equals 7 minus 3, which is 4. 7 minus 3 is 4. Let's check our work. Let's plug it back in. N, so it was N plus 3 equals 7. We're going to put 4 plus 3 equals 7. Is that statement true? 7 equals 7. Check mark. Sure does. Excellent. We are in business, my friend. All right. So let's deal with this with fractions. Yeah. Example number 3. Fractions. Y plus 3 over 4 equals 9 over 11. First things first is we have to find a common denominator. Our common denominator here is 4 times 11, which is 44. 11, 4. Y plus, I just have a few more minutes and I'll be done. 33 over 44 equals 9 times 4. Hi, thank you. Is 36 over 44. All right, guys, the opposite of addition is subtraction. So we're going to minus 33 over 44. Minus 33. Actually, when I'm doing fractions, I personally like to write it over here. Minus 33 over 44, because you can see it a little bit easier. Cancel these guys out. We have y equals 36 minus 33 gives us 3 over 44. So that's how we do it. All right, guys. Let's go ahead, pause the video, do the practice problems on page 129, A through D. They need to be at the top of your homework because I will be double checking that. And come on back. All right, guys, so here are your practice problems. Okay, so let's start with A. So for A, we have A plus 4 equals 6. So we got to do the inverse of 4. So we're going to minus 4 from both sides. A equals 2. Okay. So for B, what we're going to do is x minus 2 equals 4. And we're going to add the inverse of subtracting is adding. So we're going to add 2 to both sides. We end up with x equals 6. All right, let's talk about these fraction ones because those are kind of a pain, right? So for C, x plus 1/2 equals 3/4. X plus 1/2 equals 3/4. I'm gonna make this, so I just started solving the problem. We gotta have a common denominator here, right? So we're gonna make this times 2 because 4 would be our common denominator. You don't wanna do 8 where you multiply them together because then it's too high. So we'll do this. So we have x plus, and guys, the way I'm writing it down, this is how it needs to be written for you this is how you need to be writing it as well. Now, looking at this, you don't have to do minus 2/2 from both sides if you don't want to, because you can look at it and say, okay, so I need something over 4 that when added to 2/4 gives me 3/4. That's just gonna be 1/4. Because if we go back and we check our work, 1/4 plus 2/4 equals 3/4. Does 1/4 gives us 3/4. 1/4 plus 2/4 equals 3/4. 3/4 equals 3/4. Bam, we did it. So sometimes you don't have to show all of your work specifically, but you always have to write the problem down. For D, x minus 1/3 equals 11/12. We're gonna find our common denominator. This is gonna be 12, so times 4 times 4. X minus 4/12 equals 11/12. So we need something over 12 that gives us 11, right? Well, if you can't see it, we know 6. If I did 14/12 minus 4, right? That would give me 10/12, but I need 11/12. So how about 15/12 minus 4/12 gives me 11/12? 15 minus 4, that gives me 11/12 equals 11/12. Check, it works. Now, that is just if you can do it in your head. If you can't, the proper way to do it is, the opposite of subtracting is adding 4/12 plus 4/12. These guys go away, we draw our line. X equals 11/12 plus 4/12 is 15/12. Now, 15/12 can be reduced. Ask yourself 2, 3, and 5. Divide this by 3, divide this by 3. We end up with 5/4. So always reduce your fractions, okay? No matter which method you use to find it. All right, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, great work, and I'll see you in class.